Hello and welcome. My name's Kathy A, and today I thought I would put to the test this new Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. I have heard so many things about this. I have seen other people review it. I got the wrong color about a week and a half ago. I had to return it and get a closer shade. I have in my Guerlain, I have number 9 in there, so I don't know. I had it in the brain that I should have number 9 in Charlotte Tilbury as well. And I should have noticed because in her Flawless, Airbrush Flawless foundation, I have the 4 neutral. So I have it now in 4 neutral, which, you know, I think is a pretty good match for me. Now I'm going to show you some swatches of different of my these. I have the Guerlain L'Essentiel. I have L'Oreal's this is the True Match Nude Serum in I found the other color in this. I was using a different color. This is the 1 point to 2.5. This is the second one in the line. A lot of people are wearing this shade, which is the 0.5 to 2. And just so you can see the difference in these two, this isn't about the L'Oreal foundation. I just want you to see the difference in these two foundations color-wise. This is the difference between shade 1 and shade 2. They have like a 2 or 3 shade range for each of the numbers, which I don't know why they do that. And then this is my Pat McGrath. So those are swatches of all of those foundations side by side. I heard somebody talk about this as if it was a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, the L'Oreal serum, and I didn't find that at all, but she and I had different skin types, and I think if you have dry skin, this smells like alcohol. I mean, the second I opened this up, it's like a bar in there. It's like, it's booze. It's alcohol. It smells like grain alcohol. The second you pull it out, I think it's the second or third ingredient of this is alcohol. And if you recall last year, I think it was called All Hours Foundation. I loved it, and it had, I think alcohol was its second or third ingredient also, and everybody freaked out over it, said it was going to dry your skin out over time. And I think the alcohol in it is what made it meld into the skin so nicely, but apparently it does do damage to the skin over time, and it's number 2 on the ingredients list here. And yes, I did try these out before Christmas, and they did not make my best of the year foundation. So a lot of people had this listed as their favorite, and it just was not mine at all. I didn't have a good experience with this at all, and I'm not a huge fan of L'Oreal to begin with. So, so what I did was I put primer on just one side of my face, this side here. So I have nothing on this side, nothing on my forehead. So I'm just going to put the foundation itself on here and my forehead, and I have the primer on. I'll put it over the primer on this side because I feel that's the best way to test out a foundation. I know that sometimes I saw one lady, and yeah, I don't want to say who it is because I know she's a popular YouTuber, but she had, well, I'm going to put powder on here, I'm using a different primer here, a different primer here, I'm spraying my sponge with another primer here, I'm putting something extra on my nose, and it's like, how are you going to know what's the foundation and what's your stuff? You know, and if something goes wrong, is it your stuff or is it the foundation? So plain skin, primer skin. And the primer I used was e.l.f. Putty Primer, something many of you have in your repertoire. So I'm just going to, and again, I'm going to be 64 next month, February 21st. I'm going to be 64 years old. So that's what 64-year-old skin looks like. Granted, I have been doing some skincare. So let's get on with it, shall we? I'm just going to shake. I always shake it just in case. And I'm just going to pour a little on my plate here, just one pump. And that's what one pump looks like. It's a little serum-y. Again, this is shade number 4N, 4 neutral. And it's supposed to, skin looks more radiant by up to 285%. That's an interesting number. I'm going to use my hands to just dot it around my face. Even Steven all the way around. And this is just one coat. And I'm going to use, this is my Real Techniques face brush. And I'm just going to kind of swirl it around here on this side of my face. We'll use a sponge on the other side. I do have my eyes done except for my lashes, and I do have some lipstick on because my lips are so pale. Oh my God. Alright, so I'm going to get up close and personal with you. This is with one coat light, so it wouldn't be quite so blinding. I'm going to use a sponge for the other side. And I'm just pouncing here. So this is the sponge side, and this is the brush side. I'm just going to go over, have a little bit of a discoloration there. Now I'm going to look in my mirror. Now there was a little bit around my mouth, but I get that with pretty much all of my foundations. So I think that's pretty good. I'm just going to use a little of the number 7. I'm just going to set the T-zone, my nose, my chin and side of my nose. Basically where my mask kind of goes across. I think I am going to use a little bit of concealer. And as you know, I did take the sponge tip off of the Charlotte Tilbury concealer because it was making the this cover stick, and so I took it off. So I use a brush now. Now this is from a Moda set, and I think it looks very much like the one everybody's talking about from the BK Beauty. But I don't want to compete with that because I love her, and I love Angie. I'm not gonna say anything about that. So I'm just gonna go here and underneath. I'm gonna touch up my eye makeup. I'm just gonna get that blemish there with the concealer, which is something I would normally do. I do like to go right around my nose and just into my chin. You go back in with what's left on my powder puff. It's not bad. Not bad at all. I really like this foundation. I mean, spoiler alert, it could be a new holy grail. I think compared to the Airbrush Flawless, this one's a little bit more full coverage and it's slightly drier. This one is a little bit more moisturizing. No, it's not just like this. This is about 20 bucks too. So if you go into the drugstore, you're paying 20 bucks for this, for all that alcohol on your face. So I really, you know, I don't want to make it about this because I don't want to make a thing. I'm just going to say that they are not dupes. They are not dupes. This claims that if you use it over time, your skin's going to improve. I think over time, if you wash your face properly, you exfoliate, you feed it some, maybe a little bit of serum, and you put some moisturizer on, that will do a lot more, along with sunscreen. It will do a lot more for you than this. I don't even think there is sunscreen in here. Yeah, I don't think there's sunscreen in here, so it's not going to help you in that way either. But I like it. I think it's wonderful. I like it better than the Light Wonder, which I tried. I like it better than the Magic Foundation, which I tried. And I like it better than the Airbrush Flawless, which is a little bit more full coverage. Now, the only thing is I have to put a little more of this on to get the coverage of this, but that's okay because I think this has more of a natural skin kind of look to it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of blush, a little bit of bronzer, and a little highlighter. So there we have it, the finished look. So now I am going to go run some errands and I'm going to be back with you for a 4-hour check-in. Whew. Okay, it's about 4.5 hours later. It's snowing here in Connecticut, so I'm outside. There's snow on my head. This is my mask, and just a little bit, looks like my lipstick, of course, came off on the mask, but I'm not seeing anything except right up here where this top part goes on my nose here. That's the only part that has any kind of fallout or rub off or transfer. We're having some rough weather. Okay, so this is our official check-in for 4.5 hours. This is the side with the primer. This is the side without the primer. It's the forehead, the 11s. This is the St. Bernard lines. That's where I always get it. Let me just see in my 10 by DNA mirror. Yeah. There is a little bit of settling in the lines around my mouth and in the St. Bernard lines. Teeny bit in the 11s. I'd say 4.5 hours. Extreme conditions, like it was snowing outside, my face got wet. Inside it was very warm. I had a mask on. So even after all that, after 4.5 hours, I think it held up pretty well. Now this glowy thing that they're talking about, I'm not seeing the glowy thing at all. But my skin is very dry. I am using skincare underneath. I didn't put an SPF on today, but I usually will use my Elta MD or my day cream. I think it looks pretty good. And, you know, again, 64-year-old skin, well, 63 and 9/10. Or is it 11/12? 63 and 11/12 age skin. I think it's done pretty well. I'm pretty pleased. I don't see any wear and tear. I just see a little bit of settling into some of the more severe lines that I have. I may have missed that on my original go around, you know, journey around the face that I like to do when I press things in. No matter what concealer or foundation I use, I still have to go back with the St. Bernard lines, and in here, the crack here on my chin, and all around the edge of my mouth, there are lines, and the foundation just gravitates towards it. Now, I did use a little bit of powder in this area to try to control that, but it did manage to go, but not very much. I mean, you really have to get close to me to see if there's anything wrong here. So, my thoughts on this, I love it. I love it. Absolutely. It's got to be in my top 3. So it's right up there with my Pat McGrath, my Guerlain, and I think it beats out this one. I really do. I think it's sheerer and it's more emollient, and I think there is hyaluronic acid in it. So I think that probably added that little extra belt of moisturizer that perhaps this one does not have. Now this gives you a little bit more full coverage. I could probably see mixing the two of these and coming up with something a little more full coverage, but yet still has that emollient kind of hydrating aspect to it. But you know, this is totally thumbs up with me. I think it's an amazing foundation. Yep, it's 44 bucks. And again, this is not a dupe for it. Now this can look a little hydrating, and on some people, especially if you have combination to oily skin, this looks nice on you. This did not look nice on me. It settled into the lines severely. It accentuated dry patches that I had. I don't know why everybody's going nuts over it, because it certainly didn't do that for me. Now I tried 2 shades because the first shade that I got, I couldn't, I thought it was too light. So I went to the second shade, and the second shade, the Rose Dewy Rose or whatever I think it's called, that was better. So that was probably closer to this than anything. And I showed you the swatches earlier. I'll show them to you again. They're very similar colors, but they don't act the same, and this smells like a booze factory. It's grain alcohol. The second you open it up, it's grain alcohol. I mean, I could probably pour this into a shot glass, okay? I'm not gonna, but I'm probably gonna return this because it just did not work for me at all. So, Charlotte Tilbury, beautiful skin, absolutely fab, absolutely fabulous. Oh my goodness, perfect stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and if you are thinking about this, if you're on the fence, the 4 Neutral is a perfect medium light shade. I would say MAC N22, N20 to N22. Yeah. So I don't know what you do for your thing. This is a 9 in the Guerlain Les Essential. It's a 9. Ironically, the 4 Neutral in the Airbrush Flawless is actually a little bit different in shade than this one. So I was a little surprised at that. And then the Pat McGrath Light Medium is pretty close too. So I think it's wonderful. This one is too dark for me, the Sormé Treat and Tint, which is my favorite out of everything. This is my favorite. But it's a little dark for me. So I have to mix it. I actually use my little mixing tray. To mix some of this with some of the others that are a little bit light or not as emollient. So a mixing tray comes in real handy. So anyway, back to the subject here. And let me take it out of this little sarcophagus. This is the Angel and Alessandra. Some of that landed on my mask. This is my Sephora mask. So, perfect stuff. Thumbs up, A+. New Holy Grail, maybe. Pretty close. Pretty close. I hope all of you are well and happy. Have a wonderful week and have a beautiful day. Take care. Toodles.